Introduction, greetings, meatbags. Matty, in his ever-continuing quest for sympathy, has put out another so-called ledger update.
Yep, it seems that he's quite frightened being home alone with his mother, the woman he badgers, bullies, and verbally abuses. So obviously our sympathy isn't exactly blooming for him.
And we doubt you'll feel sorry for him either. Have a look.
Okay, so hello everyone. It's May 9th, 2026 at about 2:34 a.m. here Eastern Daylight Time. This is Matthew David Weider, of course. So I'm filming this right now because I'm alone in the house with Weider, the central internal handler of the manufactured Weider containment cell. And I am genuinely concerned / scared for my safety.
Don't worry, Matty. Nobody wants to risk prison in order to hurt you. As I've said about the entire network thing, you're just not that important.
The network has been running the exact same projection script for weeks now. They claim that they are so concerned, right? Well, this is pretty much, what they're saying. They're saying, we're so concerned for your mother's safety.
Well, we are concerned about her safety. As I and several others have noted, you're clearly not living in reality. Moreover, you're also clearly depersonalizing her, calling her by her name instead of mom. This indicates you're mentally trying to work up the mind frame that'll allow you to do something awful. Moreover, we already have evidence that people like you do consider retaliating or striking out at others. Here, remember the guy who thought an organization was doing the same thing to him?
But if you felt, some people, when they feel angry enough, want to strike back.
If I did it, I would do it fairly. I might strike back, yes. I don't know that. I couldn't answer that.
Were there any particular people that you felt you might be harmed by this loss of control? Your mother.
This guy recovered, but, during his worst period, he was afraid he was going to harm his mother. While mental illness varies from person to person, it's rather easy to imagine you retaliating against her for all her perceived wrongs.
Okay, they keep hammering that over and over again. So Sarah herself keeps saying things like, you wouldn't hurt me, would you, Matthew? And acting randomly scared.
Because you frighten her.
So every single time this network says something, it is projection. They accuse me of exactly what they are doing or planning.
Nobody is going to go after your mom, Matthew. Think about this logically. People worry about her, and they loathe you. If someone did show up to hurt one of you, it'd definitely be you that would be the target. But, as we said, nobody wants to risk prison for you.
The ledger already shows is the handler who has maintained this containment operation my entire life.
Nobody believes that.
She has lied about the police visit, stonewalled on.
She gave you his full name. If you want to talk to him, look him up and reach out. Or do you need her to do that for you too?
And the grandmother, her mother, stayed silent while chased me with a knife, destroyed the only prom photo with...
No, actually, a flood. And your disinterest in the photo combined to destroy it. You could have kept it in your room, but you didn't.
And is now pretending not to know basic things like who there is or any details about the fabricated...
He knows you're not right in the head and simply doesn't commit your nonsense to memory.
PSYOP. The containment cell is cracking under the pressure.
What pressure, Matthew? The only person who appears to be under pressure is you, as evidenced by this ledger statement. Have you already forgotten, less than 5 minutes ago, you said you were making this because you're scared?
Of the public ledger. My documentation of the Franklin branding ritual
Is simply more proof that your so-called documentation sucks. Let's be clear, Matthew. You said a guy, your age, who already punched you several times over the years, intentionally burned you with a cigarette. The kids from Boys Town were, first of all, minors. Second, under the influence of adults. And third, forced to endure the pain several times in what was described as a drunken endurance test. By your own story, you got to run away in tears. They did not. Comparing yourself to them is ridiculous in the extreme.
the phenotypic mismatch, the theater with 0 public records, perfectly timed death, and everything else has them panicking.
Says the guy making a 2 a.m. video update discussing his fear of being alone in the house with Mom.
So now, while I'm physically isolated here with the handler whose script is failing, they are running the preemptive Darvo, making me out to be the dangerous one in advance.
Were there any particular people that you felt you might be harmed by
Yes,
this loss
mother.
of control? Your mother.
If suddenly gets sick, has an accident, or anything worse happens, the story is already written. It was the paranoid, delusional son, is what they will say.
No, they won't just say that. They'll say, the paranoid, delusional son who started calling his mother by her first name, as he talked about her as being some kind of leader in the movement to ruin his life. That's a very important part, Matthew, and it's all your own doing.
I am documenting this fear in real time, on camera, with my full face and name, because the ledger is my protection.
Actually, it really is not. Think about it, Maddie. The guy who said he was going to be killed by police put that on the ledger too, remember? Plus, you just described being afraid of the woman you harass. Do you think the general public is actually going to believe you, especially after hearing the way you talk to her?
Everything is time-stamped and public. If anything happens to me or to her while I'm in this house, the world already knows the exact setup they have been building. I'm not stopping. I'm not going silent. I'm continuing to document the truth, even though I am scared right now. The ledger stands. This is Matthew David Weider. The ledger stands.
Only in your broken mind, Matthew.